my name is Sarah Otto, and I'm on the pastoral team at Ignatius House. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? It's a question Phil McGraw often poses to couples on his popular advice show, Dr. Phil, reminding people that marriage isn't about being right and winning in argument. That sort of mentality is fertile ground for building resentment, keeping score, and ends up belittling the one that you love. I haven't seen that show in years, but I thought of his question immediately as I read this passage from Proverbs. Happy the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be wise? As this passage shows, being right is clearly not the same as being wise. Wisdom, Father O'Malley writes, helps us recognize the importance of others and the importance of keeping God central in our lives. Notice how different that is from being right, which keeps the focus so much on yourself, proving your expertise, and really limits an experience to a narrow form of knowledge. Wisdom is more about doing right, putting the needs of others before yourself, seeing the bigger picture, the whole situation. Just think of the many different conversations Jesus had with the Pharisees, who were the scholars of the law. They had their expertise, but Jesus always reminded them, there's more to it than that. We have to bring the heart and the spirit in. But the journey from the head to the heart can be a long one for so many of us, not just the Pharisees. As preparation for prayer, St. Ignatius encouraged retreatants to sit in God's gaze, to imagine the Lord's gaze of love on you. Although he considered this preparatory to prayer, it is a powerful prayer on its own. Pope Francis must think so as well, as he wrote in his book, Church of Mercy, God looks at us, and this is itself a way of praying. If we really sit in God's gaze, we're given God's point of view. So often we see simply our faults, but God sees the whole, our gifts and our weaknesses, our beauty and our brokenness. And seeing it all, God loves us. Can we look with God's gaze on our own life and circumstances, even on the lives of those around us who may challenge or infuriate us? Can we look from God's perspective with the wisdom that sees the whole? This larger perspective helps us to see, as Ignatius did in his first principle and foundation, that a particular situation or circumstance we're in isn't everything. It doesn't define us. There's a bigger picture. Ignatius says, we should not fix our desires on health or sickness, wealth or poverty, success or failure, a long life or a short one. For everything has the potential of calling forth in us a deeper response to our life in God. The wisdom of God prompts us to step back, to reflect, to look with wonder and curiosity and ask, what more can be discovered here? What more can I learn about my spouse, my child, my job, my situation? Wisdom reverences life. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be wise, life-giving, and happy?